So here when I'm just in the backyard putting, there's not very many like stringent goals. I'm literally only trying to just watch the disc go in the basket. I have my, my form pretty much dialed in for what I like, having my foot back. And I'm just kind of trying to focus on the disc going in solid, not trying to not wobble it, anything like that. So, when I'm out here, like I said, it's not life or death for me. When I'm out at the course practicing or I'm practicing for a tournament, it starts to get a little more dialed in. Out here, I just kind of want to see it go in, see it fly how I want it to fly, and make sure that all my mechanics are feeling good. And then, just building a solid foundation out here in the yard, because there's nothing in the way. There's not that much room to really, do anything too crazy. So I try to just use this time to benefit me watching it go in. Because I feel like the more I can watch it hit where I want it to hit, the more confident I'm going to be. So I use this time out here just to build confidence, this isn't a full-on practice session for me in my backyard. So those first 4 were actually great. Hit right on the pole, right where I was aiming. The last one went in, so a tournament make, but wasn't how I like to see it go in the backyard. Like I said, when I'm out here, I'm just trying to build that confidence of hitting in a correct spot. In is in a tournament, but out here I try to be a little more harsh on myself, just that way. I'm not getting it in my head that it's okay to hit over there, because from right there I'm only probably 25 feet away. So from 25 feet, I'm expecting to hit pretty solid chains, especially in the backyard with no pressure and just ripping 5 putters in a row. So again, there, the 3rd and the 5th one kind of hit the rim before they went in. Again, for the win at USCDC, I'm celebrating. Out here in the yard, I'm trying to take that into consideration and adjust. So again, I don't want to teach myself out here bad habits, and I don't want to be complacent. Even though I'm not really working on anything at all, I am trying to work on training myself to hit somewhere where even in no pressure, they're solidly in. Because those 2 putts right there that barely went in, under pressure, under a tournament, those might not go in. They might be an inch lower, and that's the difference between making it and hitting the rim. When I'm putting, I'm trying to stay low, because once you drop your back foot this far back, you kind of have to commit to being low and at it. Because if I go like this and then I have a straight posture, now I'm like, my arm is naturally wanting to putt above the basket. Versus if I have my foot here and I kind of aim my spine, now me reaching up is right to the top of the basket. So I only do that because the body positioning, like I said, you can't have a long step and then have your spine up. So kind of just the way I set up for my putt kind of helps me kind of go low and hard. I try to putt, a few chains to the right, pick a link and putt nose up on a little bit of hyzer. So that wouldn't be as conducive if I was actually standing up, with my putt. So since I'm down here, I'm able to kind of get and reach for the basket here without being stood up. So what you're seeing here is how I typically just do a basic backyard practice. All 3 of my targets are not very far apart. So again, I'm just out here trying to build confidence, watch it go in, and I usually reward myself if I make 10, 15, 20 in a row sometimes. That's okay to go inside. And if that happens to be my first 20 putts, great. If it takes me 225 putts, then not so great. But again, it's just getting you more reps, and then you still know that there's a goal in mind in order to go inside. But when I'm doing the, 5, 10, 15, 20 putts to go inside, I'm counting the ones that might squeak in there. I'm taking a little bit more of my time, but overall, this is what I'll do when I do in my backyard. This is what you can expect for me to practice. And this is something I try to do as often as possible. So I like using the fingers because it just lets me kind of pop it like that. There's always something going on in my head. There's some goal or some idea or some concept. Do this, can I do that? Like my brain just always works like that. So it's like, I'll see an opportunity and I think, okay, well, what do I need to do in order to capitalize on that opportunity? Hey, follow through. See, I know what he's gonna say.